On day 1, hey, that's me! I was hurtling down from space towards Earth on my calculator ship. I landed next to a bunch of letters and hopped off my ship, ignoring them as I walked past.
F.
Step aside, losers. I scanned the area with only one mission in mind. Find X. Where is he? I turned and saw him up on a hill. Gotcha!
X.
I moved past the Alphabet crew and sliced down X with a single blow. Easy peasy.
Oh!
I snagged his multiplication gem but overheard F and M talking urgently. I rushed over to see what they were saying.
M.
M transformed into Buff M and destroyed my calculator ship. He then turned to attack me alongside F. My ship! That was a crucial part of my plan. Now you're gonna pay. Since I was number 1, I was able to wield a math book that could send out explosive equations. The 2 letters went after me with everything they had. F was a skilled swordsman, while M tried to overpower me with his incredibly powerful ground pound attack. Unfortunately for them, my math book gave me the advantage of range. I continued to send out powerful lasers. Even though they tried to evade them, it was no use. I was able to weaken both of them bit by bit. I beat down Buff M until he returned to his normal form and turned to his friend. F tried his best to take me down, but to no avail. F was too weak to keep fighting. That's for breaking my ship! With the X gem now in my hands, I turned around and began to leave with my head held high. F yelled as I walked, declaring his vengeance against me. Count your blessings, foul letters! With this X gem, I will create the largest army of ones the universe has ever seen! Once it is complete, I will come back and destroy every last one of you! On day 2, now that I had X's gem, it was time to locate all the numbers to multiply my number 1 army. I'll show everyone who's number 1! I traveled far and wide until I spotted number 2 picking some flowers. Hey 2, look what I have!
2!
I placed down my new gem and together we spelt out the equation 1 times 2. Suddenly, 2 more 1s appeared out of nowhere.
1.
Wow, that worked better than I expected. Thanks 2.
2!
Suddenly, a dark shadow loomed over us, causing 2 to get spooked.
2!
Hey, where are you going? Huh? I looked up to find a mysterious symbol I had never seen before. What is that?
Infinity.
Before I could think, the symbol vaporized all the other ones in an instant. Oh my god! What have you done? On days 3 through 6, I stood face to face with an incredibly powerful being. Who do you think you are? You zapped my army!
Infinity.
You wanna zap me too?
Infinity.
I tried attacking you with my math book power, but it wasn't phased. Oh my god! He's invincible! The Infinity came closer and attacked me with unparalleled strength. It sent beams at me and then spawned whirlwinds. I tried to run, but then it started using a freezing ability to freeze me in place. I dodged and shot at it the best I could, but my attacks were doing nothing. Then it started shooting at me with the same laser that killed the other ones. I used everything I had to defeat it, but it was no use. I was forced to flee. I ran into a hiding spot and shook Infinity off of my tail. I lost? Does this mean I'm not number 1 anymore? I watched as the symbol floated towards F and N, who were watching the whole time. F, N, and Infinity are hunting me down? If an army won't help, I'll have to find a different way to become number 1. Soon, Infinity will take over the world before I even get the chance.
On days 7 through 9, I decided to get to work on a home base while I made a plan to take down Infinity. Without my calculator, traveling has become a lot more difficult. I started by punching down some trees and crafting a wooden pickaxe. I then used it to gather stone and make some stone tools. Next, I found some sheep and slashed them down for their mutton and wool. With my new materials, I began to work on my personal one-shaped base. It was a lot of work, but I was making progress slowly but surely. As I was building, the number 0 walked up to me.
0.
Huh? Whoa! Hey, back off, 0! You're gonna reset my number.
0, 0.
Stay back. Bad 0. You know what 1 times 0 equals, don't you?
This is 0?
That's right. It equals 0. So don't stand too close. 0 watched me as I finished up my base with a crafting bench, furnace, and chest. I even tried to make a double bed. Dang it! I don't have enough wool for 2.
0.
0 walked next to me, forming the number 10. Suddenly, 10 more wool appeared in my inventory. Maybe you're not so useless after all.
0.
I built Zero a quick room too, just in case I wanted to get some easy supplies later.
0, 0.
Huh? What's that, boy? You want to show me something? Lead the way.
I followed Zero, and we came across a mysterious schoolhouse on days 10 through 11. What's in there?
0.
We stepped inside and began to investigate. After looking around for a bit, I stumbled across a book. Huh, what's this? I started reading it and was immediately intrigued. It explained the number prophecy and how the only way to defeat infinity is to find all 4 math symbols: division, addition, percentage, and multiplication. I already have X for multiplication, so I only need 3 more. Looks like I still have a chance to be number 1 after all. As we were leaving the schoolhouse, F made an appearance.
Zero.
Zero ran away in fear, leaving me alone to deal with F. F jumped down and spelled out beast, which summoned a deified prowler. F fled the scene and I was all alone against the monster. The prowler lunged at me. I jumped away and it pounced again, slashing at me with its claws. I fought back using my stone axe and got several good swings in. It tried using its fangs to bite me and I took the hit, but used my math book to return the favor. This beast was tougher than I thought, taking the damage I dealt like it was nothing. I fended off the wild animal as much as I could until he eventually got much weaker. I finally took it down with one last blow and won. Didn't stand a chance. Huh? I realized the beast had dropped a map leading to an unknown location. This could be important for finding more equation gems. I left the schoolhouse and began following the trail. On days 12 through 14, I arrived at the location on the map to find a hidden laboratory. There, a massive monster stood guard. How bad can they be? Just then, a pig waddled by and the monster killed it in a single blow. Okay, looks like I'm sneaking in. I investigated the lab and found a hidden entrance around back to use instead. I infiltrated and carefully stuck around the halls until finding a mysterious item sitting on a pedestal. Ooh, is this some sort of sword or an equation gem? I broke down the pedestal and took it. This isn't a gem, but still could be very useful. Before I could investigate further, A appeared.
Hey!
I can explain. Out of nowhere, H flew up from the floor below, spelling A.
Hey!
H.
Ah! It was a setup. Alarms began to blare and the monster came around the corner. Run! On days 15 through 18, I was on the run from the terrifying guard. I ran as fast as I could and ducked down into a hiding spot. I have to think fast. I quickly put on my sci-fi goggles and took advantage of its ability to see through walls. I navigated the lab, being sure to avoid the enraged monster that was seeking me out. Thanks to the goggles, I managed to escape. Ooh, that was close. But that gives me an idea. I explored the overworld and discovered A, B, and C all having a picnic together. Since they want to try and trap me, I'll have to return the favor. I took out some fence and built a pen around them before they could escape.
Hey! Hey!
C.
Gotcha! The letters began running around in a panic. Hey! Cut it out!
C.
Hey!
When they stopped, they were now rearranged, spelling the word cab. Just as I suspected, a cab appeared out of thin air. This must be how Infinity was summoned, by spelling his name. So if I catch more of these letters, I can use them to do my bidding. Suddenly, it arrived out of nowhere. On days 19 through 21, I was confronted by N. Why would I let them go? With enough of you, I can have anything I want. Praise Infinity all you want. When I take him down, you'll all know who number 1 really is. In a fit of rage, N attacked me. I took out my Valhalla sword and slashed him down with my powerful blade. Each hit gave N levitation, but he used it to his advantage and ground pounded me from high above. I did my best to evade his attacks while getting in a few hits of my own. I even switched my math book to shoot projectiles from afar, but I could tell I wasn't getting anywhere. N's determination to save his friends was much greater than I had anticipated. It seemed like anytime I hit him with a serious blow, he brushed it off like it was nothing. Despite all of my efforts, I didn't stand a chance. I was forced to flee. I hopped into the newly created cab and drove off. It ain't my calculator, but it'll do for now.
On days 22 through 24, I returned to the base to find Zero waiting for me.
Zero.
It's good to see you too, but don't get in my way. I got to work on some expansions, first completing Zero's house. After that, I continued building up the one until it was finally half finished. Tall and beautiful, just like me. Once I was finished, I went mining and gathered some iron ore and coal. I used my new materials to smelt iron ingots and upgraded to iron tools and an iron helmet. Suddenly, Zero came running in a frenzy.
Zero.
Did Infinity find me? I braced myself, but I realized he was only being chased by a herd of sheep. Lousy Zero. At least this gives me an idea. I made a sheep pen to house them so I could have plenty of wool for later. With that, my expansion was complete. Alright, time to look for a lead on equation symbols. Suddenly, an E hopped up and placed down a sign. E3 ahead? My friend 3 has always been a bit of a nerd. Maybe he'll be at the convention. On days 25 through 28, I arrived at E3, but it wasn't a comic convention. Instead, it was a convention full of people dressed as E's and 3's. Surely he's around here somewhere. I began to ask around to see if I could find him. Excuse me, are you 3?
What? I'm not 3. I'm 25 years old.
Are you 3?
What? Dude, I'm a B.
3?
That's a common mistake. My name is Threve.
He could be anywhere! Just then, I spotted an equation gem for sale at one of the stands. Whoa! Maybe I don't need 3 after all! I rushed over, but suddenly someone placed a sold sign next to it. No! Who bought it?
3!
My friend 3 ran out and claimed the gem for himself. You bought it? Hand it over!
3!
3 went at me with the power of his new gem. 3 immediately summoned fangs from the ground beneath us. The power of the gem was as powerful as I had imagined. Whenever he used it to his advantage, I dashed out of the way, but by the time I turned back, he had hidden amongst the other 3s. Fighting in a hall filled with E's and 3s made it much harder to fight. I couldn't tell which 3 was the real one. Suddenly, he popped out and attacked me with his sword. I used my Valhalla sword to levitate him up and launch a charge from my math book as he dropped down. Taking the fight away from the crowd, it was now much easier to pick him off and dwindle his health. Despite his efforts, I still managed to come out on top. 3 dropped the gem and I took it for myself, granting me an additional 5 hearts. 2 gems down, 2 to go. For days 29 through 31, I was feeling pretty good about getting my second gem. I think I'll celebrate with a bit of letter hunting. Let's set up a trap. I went into some caves and found a bit more coal and iron, crafted some shears, and began searching for spiders. Once I had found some, I killed them and used my shears to take their webs. I'm sheerishly good at this. Okay, yeah, that one was bad. Ignoring the awful pun, I left the caves and found a nice open area to set things up. I started to dig some holes and place webs at the bottom to trap whoever fell down. Perfect! With everything set up, I hid and waited. Eventually, an unsuspecting eye appeared. Yes, come on, fall on in! I hopped over one of the holes and fell into my trap. Score! I ran over and looked down, ready to retrieve and capture him, but once I saw him, I felt sad instead. I decided to let Eye out of the trap instead of hunting him. I tossed over some seeds and a water bucket for his gratitude. After that, he turned and left. What is this feeling? Am I happy? The new emotions made me feel tired, so I decided I needed some rest. On days 32 through 35, I wanted to clear my mind, so I went exploring. I was about to walk into a nearby forest when I heard yelling. Huh? Suddenly, 4 rushed over to me. 4! You want me to help you find something? Forget it! You 4s can't be trusted. 4! It's something unforgettable? Huh. Well, okay. I went with 4 and followed him over multiple biomes. Are we there yet? 4. After a while, he suddenly stopped and attacked me. What the heck, 4? This was a setup? 4. You're handing me over to infinity? Not on my watch. I used my new division chompers to ward him off, but he threw dynamite at me. I slashed him with my levitation sword, making him fly up and giving him a good drop. He kept tossing explosives at me and I dodged while shooting back at him with my math book and chompers. He switched to trying to hit me with a sword, but I slashed him right back. He used more explosions, which tore up bits of the ground, but I managed to evade the majority of them. It was tough, but his overconfidence got the best of him. I used that to my advantage and defeated him once and for all. 4 ran off, leaving a letter in his place. Man, numbers can really be jerks. I picked up the letter and started to read what it said. To find the next equation gem, you must look to the sky. Looks like I have a new clue. On days 36 through 38, I looked towards the sky as the clue hinted, when suddenly K flew by.
Is that a letter? I followed them until they finally took me to a strange fortress in the sky. That must be where the next gem is. It was high up, so I started using whatever materials I had on hand to build a pillar upwards. I was making good progress until Kay began to buzz around me. Ugh, back off! I swatted the letter away.